Good to be here. I just finished working out. I was like, I had to get it in. So I put my KONGen hat on and I'm good to go.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, that's Monday morning is this is the best day of the month right here. Every month we get to meet with Coach Minard first thing on the beginning of the month. I like to call it starting the month off with a bang. And it's amazing what's been going on since I started utilizing your program, and it's absolutely correct what you're talking about, and how we can literally train our brain for success, how we can, how thoughts are things, and how we can literally materialize our thoughts by simply taking the right actions and thinking the right things. And so it's been a tremendous blessing for sure. And it's like that saying that you have said before that Daniel DeMccauley came up with, that KONGen Water is a personal development program with a compensation plan attached. And it really and truly is. The people that we meet in this business, it's incredible personal development. It really is. And it's just, it just goes to show that when you surround yourself with the right people, you change the people that you hang around with and that kind of stuff, that it indeed does impact your life in a positive way. And so it's super exciting. So what's going on, Coach? You just got done working out?
Yeah, excited about March. This year is marching on. It's like, didn't we just start and we're already into March? But it's good. And I think this is, if we can stay focused and, keep the goals. I mean, to me, it's all about working smarter, not harder. Right. And working towards our priorities. And, like they give the analogy of like, put your rocks in first. So like those priorities in your life, like if you have a jar, like most people, they want to put all the little stuff in first. So like they pour the sand in first, and then the pebbles are the more important things. And then the big rocks are your values and priorities and things that really, really matter. And they tend to put those in last. And then there's not room for them. Where if they put the big rocks in first, then the little rocks will fill in. Then you put in the sand for what's left over. And I think, if we can stay focused, that's really what I'm trying to do, is stay focused. What are my 2-3 key priorities of where I want to move my life forward this year? And just putting the emphasis on those. And then, if I need to give attention to other things, those are the little rocks, or that's the sand that fills in. And, for me, even making priority to take time, like you're going on vacation, JJ, like taking time to rest and to recover. Like we have this mindset that like we have to work ourselves into the ground to ever get ahead in life. And it's all in your head. It's whatever you want to make it be. If you think it has to be hard, then it's going to be hard. And that's really where I'm working on myself right now, is it doesn't have to be hard. Like I just always am like, where am I supposed to be today? I want to be at the right place at the right time. Who can I reach out to? I'm going to kind of get organized, maybe make a little list or whatnot. These are my priorities of what I'm going to do, but just letting it flow. It was funny. I had a girl reach out to me in a network marketing company, and, she sent the little blob that you can tell it's pre-written, and she spammed probably 100 other people. And so I just didn't respond. And then like a week later, she sent it again. And then a week later, she sent it again. And so finally I just said, thank you, but, I'm not interested right now. And so then she goes into our long spiel where, well, if what you're doing, it was skincare. So are you happy with what you're doing now, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, yes, I am. Well, blah, 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 blah. And like, it was just like this, you could tell like this struggle, and she's not listening at all to what I'm saying. She's just going on like, I got to do this. Cause probably her upline is like, you got to reach out to 50 people every day, and you've got to, and you got to get people on these, give them free samples and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, when we make it hard, people sense that too. And I mean, immediately I was just like, and so I told her, I said, look, you know, I'm really happy what I'm doing, but, and she's maybe half an hour lives away from me. Somehow we connected through Facebook. And I said, look, I do a lot of networking and networking meetings. Like, I'm happy to introduce you to people that maybe, you know, they might be interested. I mean, she just wasn't listening to anything I was saying. I mean, she was just like, and I think that's our problem, is that we get so focused on what we think we have to do that we're not paying attention to the clues around us. Because here was an opportunity. Like, I have networks of hundreds of people. Like, I could have brought her in, but because she's not even listening, I don't think that's somebody I even want to introduce or work with. You know what I mean? And I thought, and I told her, I just ended with a note. I said, you know, when I got into this business, I was just like you. I wasn't listening. I wasn't paying attention. I was just kind of doing my own agenda and all this. And, you know, basically you're making it a lot harder than you have to. And she didn't really respond or whatever, but I thought that is a lot of us. I mean, and that's definitely been me. And you carry all that stress of like striving and trying to make it happen instead of just relaxing and being a real person. You know, like JJ, what you say, being authentic, like being our authentic self, being true to ourselves, not being salesy, but working smarter and not harder. And that's what's, I think, so beautiful about this business and the amount of money that you can make. And here you are, you're going on vacation. And while you're on vacation, you can tell people about KONGen Water. You're taking the machine with you. But you know what? If you want to not work, you don't have to work either. Like, it's your life, but you can just go with the flow. You can just go and enjoy your vacation. And as you feel, it's like you feel that prompt and that gut feeling of, oh, maybe I should talk to that person. Or I've had people come up. I don't know if you've ever had these situations where you're like somewhere and you're like, oh, I just need a moment of quiet. And of course that person comes and sits beside you and you're like, oh, I don't want to talk right now. And it ends up being a key person that you're supposed to talk to. But it was just like being open and being, this happens to me all the time. And I'm like, okay, I know this person was supposed to come beside me. And just letting it flow instead of making it so hard.
You know, it's interesting you say that, Coach, because I'm not sure I've ever had that situation happen where I was like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to be around anybody or anything like that, because I think I'm just such a personable person. It's like my wife and I, everywhere we go, when we go places together, we always end up meeting people and making friends. And, you know, we've gone on train rides to go like downtown Salt Lake. And during that train ride, we end up with several friends and people that we're yammering up a storm with and having a great time. And, you know, just making a blast out of a silly little train ride downtown, you know. So, you know, that old saying that if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And
right,
like I'm going to Hawaii, but it's like Sam said, you know, this isn't my job. This is my life. And I don't quit my life. I don't stop my life. I don't take a vacation from my life. I'm doing this because this is what I love. And
right.
there are no days off. There is no time off. There's no, you know, I never work a day in my life, but I never take a day off either. And it's a really interesting place to be, where you have so many other people out there that Monday, they're just dreading Monday. You know, Monday is the most horrible day of the week, and they're just hating their life. And every Monday they're just, and then finally when Friday gets there, they're happy again. And for me, every day is just another awesome day in the neighborhood.
Right, exactly.
And it's awesome. And I'm looking forward to going to Hawaii, and I'm going to be doing the shows from Hawaii. What I'm going to do, I was planning on getting up early in the morning, like really early in the morning, because they're like 3 hours behind us. And so I'd be having to get up at like 5:30 in the morning to do the show at normal show time of 8:45 Mountain. So what I'm going to do is, for the time that I'm in Hawaii, we're just going to go with 8:45 Hawaii time, which will be 11:45 Mountain time. And that was what my wife said. She said, you should just do that. Just do live at 8:45 Hawaii time. And I was like, that's a great idea. I think I'll do that. And so just going to have to change it up a little bit.
That's the great thing about being your own boss. You can change the time.
You know, it'll be fun, from being able to do the show from around the pool or
there you go,
on the golf course or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, there's going to be all kinds of beautiful areas for me to sit down and still carry on the show. I know on Wednesday, Sam Tran's going to be coming in the house for his monthly show. And then tomorrow we're going to be doing Dan Edlin from LAX. We've been at LA at not like 9:40 in the morning, and then we've got a 7-hour layover. I'm trying to see if I can get somebody that lives there in LA to come and pick us up and chaperone us over to the Enagic office, because apparently it's only like 20 minutes away from the airport. And we've got a 7-hour layover in LA. So I'm hoping that I can get McKinney Thomas to come over and grab us, and you know, we can buy him lunch and go over to the
grab an Uber, man.
That kind of thing. It should be interesting. We got a lot of time to spend there, so it'd be nice if we could go do something instead of just having to lollygag in the airport for 7 hours.
Hey, JJ, just grab an Uber.
Yeah, well, I thought about possibly doing that as well. I may end up doing that. I haven't had much luck with Uber. I'm not sure.
I had good luck with Uber, but it's too sad it's not in Manitoba.
Yeah, and so I'm not sure what we're going to do in that regard. I'm going to reach out and see if I can work something out, and you know, whatever. It's going to go nice and smooth. Everything's going to be beautiful. We're going to have an awesome time, and we're going to meet some new contacts in Hawaii, and that'll be, you know, that's what makes it all worthwhile, Coach. You know, we simply have the most important product there is on planet Earth. That's all there is to it. There's nothing. It's like one of the guys said he said, this is one of the 3 greatest inventions in the history of mankind. And I said, well, what are the other 2? And he said, fire and the wheel. It's like, just barely above them. So yeah, it's going to be fun, and you know, just the whole thing of having a positive mindset, it just makes such a difference in life. And I never realized that to the extent that I do now until getting involved with this personal development program with a compensation plan attached. You know? And meeting people like you, Coach, getting to visit with you once a month, getting to pick your brain and learn things from you. And you know, it's just, this company is just chock full of people that are ready, willing, and able to reach out and help in any way, shape, or form that they can. And they're not even concerned about making money or getting paid for it. And that is so unique compared to so many other things I've been involved with in my life. So many people out there that won't even give you the time of day unless you're going to pay them $500. I actually ran into a lady in another entity last year that she's literally making $10,000, $15,000 a day. And yet she wouldn't even give me any coaching or help in any way, shape, or form unless I was willing to pay her $500 an hour. I was just like, wow, how much is ever enough? And it's so much different here. Because of people like you. So, yeah, I'm just grateful and blessed to be able to be part of this and to be able to share it with the world. And I'm, you know, trying to learn to, like you say, listen better and just do it more with love versus trying to throw up on people. Right?
We all are. It's a learning process. I know it's a learning process. But I think the more authentic you are and wanting, like when you feel like it's a duty, like you're saying, like it's a job. Like that girl, it was like her job. She had to reach out. She had to, spam all these people. And it came across as that way. Whereas, if I talk to someone, I want it to be authentic. I want it to come up, and I guess what I was talking about, like I was thinking about like a few times, like I've traveled and it's like you're so tired and you just like want to sleep. And always it's like the most amazing person will sit beside me. Of course, we get talking about the water and, because people will always ask you what you do. Or on the airplane, that little tray that pulls down, they say is just covered in nastiness, germs, everything. So I always take my 2.5 and I spray that little tray down. And people will always ask me, what is that? What are you using? So, it's my disinfectant water. And they're like, what? And then that opens up too. So there's always lots of opportunities to be able to share in authentic ways where, you're creating curiosity and you're letting them ask the questions versus you just like trying to shove stuff down their throat because that's forced. And anytime anything is forced, people will resist. They'll put up a protection. Whereas when it's more authentic in conversations and they know your heart, that you really, care about them and want to help them, and it's in an authentic, natural type of conversation, I think that's always going to be, and they sense your enthusiasm too, which you're such an enthusiastic person, JJ. So, but they sense, and people will say to me, I know that you 100% believe in this product. Like I sense your true belief in this product. And that means so much to me because if I'm not conveying belief, then I'm not doing my job. Then the first person you have to sell to is yourself. When you're 100% sold, you can't help but tell other people. And they're going to sense, again, it's all back to that authenticity.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because like on Saturday, we had a special episode with Tammy Young. And she had such an incredible story to tell. It was heartbreaking and it was inspiring, all in the same 45 minutes. And she said, as her last little closing remark, she said, just figure it out. Once you understand the benefits of this, the cost is insignificant.
Right.
It doesn't even
Absolutely.
matter. Once you understand the benefits of this, you will pay any amount of money to have it, no matter what. And, she said, my only regret is that I didn't have this thing 10 years earlier. I would have been able to get a lot more sleep over the last 10 years if I'd have known about this.
Yeah.
She's got a daughter with cerebral palsy. Who was vaccine injured as a baby, and they literally, as a 2-week-old baby, they gave her this whole round of vaccines against Tammy's will. She said, no, I don't want it happening, and they did it anyway. They shoved her full of vaccines, and they really, really injured her in a big, huge way. She's actually in the video. You can see her in her wheelchair back in the background. And it was so interesting because before we started the show, she came on the show like 15 minutes early, and we were just sitting there talking, and her daughter was sitting back there in the wheelchair going, rah, 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 and that kind of stuff. And I was like, yeah, she wants to be on the show. She wants to get rolling. And as soon as the show started, she just sat there and listened, didn't say a word.
Oh.
It was really, really interesting. And
Mm.
but yeah, that whole thing of this is just, it's different. It really is. And like I've been doing these shows as of late where I've been taking meat. I don't know if you've managed to get a chance to see any of these, but like I took a steak, I took a pork loin, and then yesterday I did chicken. And I took them out of their packaging and I did an ORP test on them when they were raw. And all of them had a positive ORP. And then I took them and I soaked them in 11.5 water for a period of time. Like yesterday, the chicken ended up in the 11.5 water for about 8 hours. And then I pulled it out and ORP tested it again, and it went from like a positive 212 to a negative 350.
Wow.
And then after cooking it, I tested it again, and it was still, even after being cooked, it still had a negative 250 ORP.
Really? Even after being cooked?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
And it just goes right along, and I'm going to continue to do these tests because it just goes right along with my thought process of the fact that KONGen water makes everything better. It doesn't matter what it is, it makes it better. It can be anything. And you know, I had a guy that was trying to recruit me into his special coffee, and telling me that I needed this coffee. And I said, well, send me a couple samples. Because I gotta, before I'm gonna buy anything or put anything into my body, I gotta test the ORP on it. I need to know whether it's stealing electrons or whether it's donating them. And so I rigged this stuff in, and I did a special episode in the lab and showed the ORP of the water. And it took this coffee, putting it into the KONGen water, it took that KONGen water from a negative 900 down to a negative 300.
Mm.
And then as far as the regular water, because I put it in my regular tap water as well, and it turned it from like a positive 250 up to like a positive 550. And
Whoa.
yeah,
You have to tell me the product when we're done.
yeah, you
So
know,
don't get that one.
and the coach is every single product that is out there that I've been able to get a sample of, that I've ran it through Kong's lab, as I call it, and done my ORP testing. Every single thing that I have ever tested, they always have a positive ORP, always.
Mm.
And you know, you show the people that are selling this stuff, you show them that this stuff literally, without Kong, is actually very, very bad for you. Now, with Kong, it turns it into something that is good for you. Do you know, and for whatever reason, these people, they don't care. They don't even care. They don't care that I just showed you that what you're saying is good for people is not. And you don't even care. It's just mind-boggling to me. And I guess people just don't necessarily understand, and that's part of our thing. You know, we've got to educate them as to the importance of whether something is stealing electrons from your body or whether it's donating them.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to be testing stuff today. I'll whip that OP meter out.
yeah.
I got a few things I'm thinking I've never tested. And I am curious. I have a little antioxidant drink that basically what I'll tell people is antioxidants, you know, they're negatively charged. It should give you energy, just like our water gives you energy. So I have a green drink that I love. It gives me energy. So I know that it's good. I have another product that's kind of more fruit-based. Same thing. I feel good. Other stuff, and there's some big name companies out there that will give me samples. I take it. I don't feel good. You know, and I'm like, what all is in here? But I'll have to ask for more liquid because the ORP meter, although you stuck it in the steak, you can do solid objects.
Yeah, anything. The thing is everything has water in it. Pretty much everything
Okay.
has water in it. So anything that has water in it, the ORP meter will measure it. You can measure the ORP of an avocado. You can measure the ORP of a grape. You can, in fact, Tristan Lee did an interesting video. She called it turning raisins into grapes.
Oh, I saw that. I did see that.
And she measured the ORP of it before and after Kong, and it showed that not only did those raisins plump up into grapes, but they had a negative ORP after they'd been sitting in Kong's water overnight. And, so it is so fascinating. And, when it comes to mindset, one of the things I was talking to Ian about is how when our brains are not properly hydrated, it makes it very difficult to think properly.
Mm-hmm.
And I really firmly believe, after 3 years of learning about this, that people who have issues with depression or just with being ornery and mean and that kind of stuff, I think that these people are suffering from severe dehydration of the brain.
Well, I did a Facebook Live on this week. And that's what I talked about. They're linking depression back to dehydration because the brain is constricting. The brain doesn't have water to send the messages and the impulses. But here's the other thing is that we know that hydrogen helps the brain to produce dopamine. That's the happy hormone, serotonin, well-being, melatonin to help people sleep. If you're not sleeping well, you can be grumpy, all of this. But when the brain is dehydrated, you don't feel well. I mean, the whole body is operated through the brain.
Yeah.
And so that's the number one place that you want to be hydrated. And so, yeah, I was reading a study the other day and they're linking, people are coming out of depressions. Well, I can't think of their names. He's got the tattoo, Change Your Water, Change Your Life on his arm.
Roger Goodell.
Roger, he was down in the basement for years in depression. And she got him to drink that water and brought him out. We can't make promises and all this, but it's hydration. You're not sick, you're thirsty. That whole book. That was one of the first books that I read, and it was so eye-opening to me. I got that book somewhere. I should get it out again and look through it. But how many things are that the doctors are giving people pills for that they're just dehydrated. But as we know, normal water doesn't hydrate very well. It's very, very limited. And people don't like the full feeling, so they don't like to drink a lot of water and all of this. And so, the first thing people say to me is, oh, your water, it's so light. It's so easy to drink. I feel like I'm finally being hydrated. People say, I feel it instead of being thirsty all the time. I mean, then that's really the foundational thing is that we're hydrating people at a higher level.
Yeah. It's interesting. And the thing is, coaches, the cool part of this is that we get all these examples of what we're talking about in action. Like my buddy Grant Lippmann, who just got himself a machine 3 weeks ago. He has a young kid who's 7 or 8 years old. And he said he has just been an absolute terror, this kid. He has been so unruly, so just obnoxious, and just a little pain in the butt.
Right.
And he said, ever since I've had him drinking this water, he is just absolutely mellowed out. And he is not being this little terror anymore. He said, it's an absolute godsend.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
So it's
you feel irritable. I mean, when you're dehydrated, you feel irritable. That's the only way. And a child doesn't know how to express that.
Yeah. And, we're starting this new project as part of our the group that we have, that it's kind of interesting because I don't know if you saw some of the posts with the Mission 330 hashtag on them.
Yes.
Well, we did that Mission 330, which is to help people get 3 signups within 30 days. And we were doing group posts in this group called Your KONGen Water Secrets. And we started that project 30 days ago at the beginning of February, and ran it through February. And when we started that project, there was about 6,200 members in that group. And by the time we finished the project, there were 80, I think there's 86 or 8,400 members in that group.
Awesome. Awesome.
Gaining another 2,000 members of that group. And it's an open group. And so now we're starting a new project. It's called the Gallon a Day 30 for 30 days. And so everybody's going to be drinking a gallon a day, sharing their stories, sharing their pictures, and see what happens when you make a commitment to drink a gallon a day of this water for 30 straight days, and see what happens.
Awesome.
And so it's going to be really interesting because the posts have already started. I haven't had a chance to do mine yet, but I'm going to do one this morning and continue to do them every day, because I try to always drink a gallon of water a day.
Yeah.
I really want to get one of those jugs like the one that you have that says all the timelines of the day. However, wherever you got that from, I'd love to know that so that I can.
I'll have to find that link. It was like they came up on Instagram or something, and yeah, it's really cute, isn't it?
Yeah, I love that whole thing. I want to get one of those, and that'll be a really good thing because for me, I like to drink my water fresh out of the machine versus drinking it out of the jug. But I think during the process, I'm gonna probably go to that, and that way it's easier to tabulate the whole gallon a day.
Yeah, I like these because it's kind of like the same thing. Like if you fill up the gallon is sitting, so you're not getting it fresh. So like this is a Nalgene bottle. You can get these just about anywhere. So this is like 5 cups. So I know I need 3 of these a day. Or I'll have, if I really want it fresh, this holds like 3 cups. And I'll always drink, because Dr. Peggy Parker says, drink 2 or 3 cups at a time. Like drink it fresh, as much as you can fresh at one time. Let that process, then come back a couple hours later, drink a whole bunch again. And let it process so that you're getting it as much fresh as possible. So that's what I try to do. But I mean, yeah, you go out, you're going to be out all day. You're going on we go skiing and stuff like that. So I've got the big jugs. I look like a crazy woman. I don't care. I come in with my jugs. But everybody's thinking about water. So, it's easy to talk about. It's easy to get conversations started. They're fun for conversation starters.
So I've got a question for you about flying once again. It seems to me that I've seen you get on a plane before where you had your gallon water bag with you, and they actually let you take that on the plane.
Yes. So the water bag, or I'll take a bunch of these. I mean, I know people have taken even like 5 gallons with them before. I mean, you hear crazy stories. They want to see that you're taking a reasonable amount. Basically, that's kind of been the feedback. Only one time I was coming home and the girl was like, you only have like a 6-hour flight home. Why do you have all of this water? She's like, you're going home. You're not going on the trip. So I drank the whole daggone thing standing in front of her. And then I had like 2 more with me that I took on the plane. But going, I've never had any issue. I mean, you just say that you have to have it. A lot of people don't show the medical documentation, but I do. It's just the form off of the NAGIC site that, talks about how it is a medical device in Japan. Some airports, whatever, we go through Boston. Boston can be a little bit stricter. Other airports, they've seen it and they're familiar with it. So they're just like, sure, they don't even, but they typically they'll open it up and they'll either do a little strip over it or they'll put it in their scanner machine. But I don't know what the scanner machine does to it unless you had an ORP meter, would you know? But
I think they scan it for explosive, yeah.
yeah, they're making sure it's not a bomb. I mean, that's all. I told him, even taking the machine, you want to take the filter out of the machine, put it in a Ziploc bag, put it in your main suitcase. If you put it in your carry-on, they're going to make you pull it out, but you can pull it out because they're worried that that's going to be a bomb. But the main machine, I haven't had anybody them look at it or anything. It's a filter. They want to know what the filter is.
Yeah, that's, I know Jerry Kostica did a thing about traveling with it, and he said, pull your filter out, put it in a plastic bag, and then have it unhooked and put it back in the compartment where it goes. And I think what I'm going to do is go with what you're saying and just take the filter out and put it in our checked in.
I did that too.
I think what I'm going to do is just pull it out so that it's sitting there and it's in the plastic bag and they can see that it's a filter. And because I'm hesitant to put it into my checked baggage because if
it got lost,
taking clothes and stuff like that in a carry-on so that we can, just in case they go and lose our luggage. It happens all the time.
Yeah. All the time. Yeah.
Horrible if we lost our filter, we got our machine. Yeah. We don't have a filter. We can't even use the dang thing. That would be horrible. And so, but
you know what some recommend? They recommend have a new filter along, put it in the machine while you're flying. So you only have the wet one down into your checked-in bag. That's what I heard from somebody else.
Yeah, I took and drained it. It's been draining for days. So that was one of the other things Jerry said, is make sure you get all the water out of your machine, because if there's water in it, it can not only can it harm the electronics, but they see water in there in their scanners and they immediately think bomb. So I've got some good stuff in there. I've got some information about the coronavirus and how the 2.5 water kills it. And so that's going to be also part of my spiel when it comes to them, is that this is my protection against coronavirus. And I'm, what about the little spray bottles, like being able to take your 2.5 water? They just let you take those little tiny ones, right?
Yeah. So let me grab one. Yeah. So as long as 4 ounces, has to be under 4 ounces, I believe. So that's 2. That's a pretty big size. So I don't have any problem with these.
So we can take our little bit bigger one. Good.
I want to say it's up to 4 ounces. Is that correct? Or is it 2?
80 milligram. That's what their limit is.
What is it?
80
milligrams, but I don't know how that transfers.
Not sure how that translates over to ounces.
Yeah, I don't have any. This is 2 ounces. I don't have any problem.
You've been able to,
because I keep the 2.5. I put this right in my carry-on because I'm spraying everything down everywhere, because airports are nasty, airplanes are nasty. So, and it's a good conversation starter, and they want to take your phone. They're touching they're scanning, they're taking your ticket. So like, you want gargle with it. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, that's gonna be me. We're gonna have a bottle of 2.5 with us. We're gonna be spraying everything. It's gonna be funny. I'm excited about it. People are gonna be going, "What the heck are you doing?" I'm going, "I'm killing viruses, baby."
Now, you know to take your electrolysis enhancer out, right? When you travel?
Yes.
Okay.
Got that empty, but I am taking a bottle of it and I'm taking some salt, because I know that we got a nice hotel room with a kitchen, and we're gonna go to the grocery store and cook all of our own food, and so we need 11.5 to be able to clean off the vegetables and all that kind of stuff. And so yeah, it's gonna be interesting. This is the first time I've ever flown with Kong, so it's gonna be.
Hey JJ, can I say something?
Sure.
I have traveled 3 times in my KONGen machine. I've been to Nicaragua, Central America. I've been to South America, Paraguay, right to the middle. And I've been to Dominican Republic. And I've been through all kinds of stories. When I came to Nicaragua, I had to sign a paper because they had no idea what it was. I had to sign the paper on this flight, on this day, I will take it back out. Then they let me have it. And when I came back, they not even looked at it. I checked it through the machine, I was gone. And then down to South America, I had no problem. The only problem that I had on our way back in Toronto, they looked at it, and then they asked me what it was, and then they asked me, does that really work? I said, yeah, okay, you're good to go.
Awesome.
Yeah. I wanted to chime in too, Jay. I've been packing mine all over, and the first time I've ever had to take that machine out of that suitcase I pack it in, you know the suitcase.
Mm-hmm.
I had to take it out in Seattle. The kid made me take it out. He swabbed the whole thing. I mean, it was ridiculous. That was the first time ever, and you know how much I travel, so I wouldn't even take the filter out, brother. I think they'll hassle you if you take the filter out. I leave mine in it.
Oh. Hmm.
I travel all over with that filter in it.
Yeah, I've actually got it in a plastic bag, and I've got it in the compartment.
Yeah, but I think they're going to
not
hassle.
hooked up, but it's in there.
They'll hassle you, bro. Call me. I think they'll hassle you. Call me.
All right, yeah, I'll scream at you.
I don't like getting hassled in TSA, brother. You know how I am, boy. That guy, he had me upset.
Yeah, you know, well, I made a promise to my sweetie that everything was going to go smooth.
Absolutely. Yeah, you don't want no trouble in TSA.
Whatever it is that takes place, it's all going to be good. It's all going to be smooth. It's all going to roll. It's all,
Amen.
And something how to dry it out. I only blow it with my own power through the line. That's all how I took the water out, and I was good everywhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna spray the captain down with 2.5 so he doesn't get coronavirus while he's flying. Yeah, you guys, what a great show today, Coach. It's always so good getting to meet with you on the first Monday of the month. You know, we get to start the month off with a bang with some good positive thoughts, and you know, before we head out of here, I wonder if you might just give the crowd something positive.
Something
positive today that people can work with through the rest of the month.
Well, I think maybe going back to like what I was saying before, and I think the place where I'm working right now is just stop making things so hard. You know, like it's like even like going through the airport tomorrow, it's like, you know, we can get ourselves in a state of thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to get all this hassle. I'm going to have all this conflict. And a lot of times that ends up being what we attract, where what you're saying is, I told my sweetie, like everything's going to go smoothly. And you know what? Sometimes it doesn't always, but when we stay just in that peace of mind and we calm down, it helps the situation around us to calm down too. Because we you know, people are people, and you're going to come in contact, and you're going to be in different situations. And what do they say? You know, 90% of life is 10% is what happens to you. 90% is how you react and how you respond. Yeah. You know, and just staying in that peace of mind, and because people play off your reaction too. And so, like even going through TSA, like most everyone has been, for the most part, kind. But here's an interesting situation with me, because I'm always like, how should I be led? Like I'm always trying to listen for cues. So I go through, and the guy, he takes my, you know, he's looking at your ticket and your driver's license and all that, and he points over to the one line, and he says, this line is ready for you. Well, that line was long. I didn't want to go to that long line, so I decide to go to a different line. I picked the line with a girl who is a not happy person. And she is the one that made me dump out my water, basically. I mean, I have never had someone be so obstinate about the water, ever. So she goes, you got to do something about the water. Get out of the line. You're going to have to come through again. So I drink as much of the water as I can. I go through the line again, but this time I get in the line that the guy told me to get in from the beginning. And they were as nice as could be. They about hugged me. And if I had just listened from the beginning, like listened for the cues, like we're always being directed. Listen for the cues. If I had just listen instead of being like, oh no, like this looks, you know what I mean? Like we make it harder than it has to be. So that was a big learning lesson for me. And so every day I'm just like, I'm trying to listen for the cues, because life doesn't have to be as hard as what we think it has to be. And I think things, if we can let things play out, and again, watch our reactions and our responses, just stay in that peace of somehow things are working out. And sometimes things start to go wrong, but they needed to go wrong for a reason. And like just trusting that and trusting the process too. So I hope you have a beautiful trip and get to share the water with lots of people and enjoy and have fun with your honey. I know she's excited.
Oh yeah, she's not even gonna sleep a wink tonight.
So light, I know, it's so much to do.
5 o'clock in the morning to make it get there and everything on time and all that. So it'll be, it's exciting. It's like she was saying, we've been down the Grand Canyon 9 times on river trips, and this feels every bit as much as that does. There's always all this tension because you're going away for 20 days, going in the middle of nowhere, and if you didn't bring it, bummer, you don't have it, you can't go buy it and things like that. But this is kind of a different experience. It's always interesting doing something for the first time, and this is for the first time. We're going to be flying over the ocean for 6 hours, and that in itself is a little bit hair raising, but you just have to have faith that everything's going to go right, that everything's going to go well, and
it's the safest transportation in the world, bro.
That's right. That's
the truth. So, and, my sweetie, she loves flying. She loves it. She just absolutely loves getting on an airplane and being able to fly somewhere. And so it should be exciting, and we're definitely looking forward to it. And thanks, Coach. Really appreciate you coming in here. And
thanks, Sharon.
Such a blessing. Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're always welcome to jump in the show anytime you want to. If you ever have any message that you feel like you need to get out there, we want to help you share it and spread it. And we are the Kong family. We're here to change the world.
That's right.
As our good buddy Sean Wetzel would say, we're doing it one glass of hydrogen-rich, oxygen-saturated, incredibly hydrating. Coming with water 9.5 at a time. One lightning bolt in a box. Come through the TSA tomorrow, and
bigger bottle.
Yeah.
One hootie hoo.
Incredible.
Hootie hoo.
Yes. And
hootie hoo hoo.
There you go. Don't forget your hugs. Yeah, let them rip. Thanks, Coach. Love you, honey. You have an awesome day, and we'll see you guys next time we meet. We'll be in LAX, and then after that, we'll be on the Big Island of Hawaii. So
yay! Have an awesome trip. Thank you, JJ.
Safe travel, brother.
Bye, guys.
Thanks so much. God bless you all.
Bye.
Make it a great one. Get out there, change the world, starting with your own. Woody hoo!
Hootie hoo.
There you go.